Hi everyone, this is Expat Life Korea and my name is Dylan, but you know what? We're not talking about Korea today because I just went to Japan for 2.5 weeks because I don't have a job anymore. I thought it would be interesting to talk about my experiences in Japan and the things that I did, the things that I saw, and I could pass along to you some information on what's good, what's bad, what you should do, what you should skip, where you should go, stuff like that. I started the trip in Osaka. So in Osaka, I did a whole bunch of different things because I was there for maybe 5 days total. There are several different kind of observatory type of things that you can do in Osaka. The first one I did was called Abeno Harukas, or I think it's also called Harukas 300. It's right next to Tennoji Station. You can't miss it because it's a big modern looking skyscraper building made of glass. Anyway, I'm not really a big observatory type of person, but I thought this one was actually really good and well done, although it could have been because I was there at night on a weekday, so it wasn't very crowded. However, I still enjoyed it quite a lot. It was really nicely presented and well done, and the view was really good, especially at nighttime. The next type of observatory thing I did was the HEP 5 Ferris wheel, which is near Osaka Station and Umeda. Umeda and Osaka Station are actually the same place. It's a big red Ferris wheel that's on top of a building called the HEP or HEP Entertainment Building or something like that. Can't miss it. I was there on a weeknight, I think, so the wait was not very long. Again, really cool, interesting views of the city. Much cheaper, but I gotta give the edge to the first place I went to, Abeno Harukas, because you can stay up there as long as you want. You could walk around. The last thing, actually, most people wouldn't consider this an observatory, but I went to Osaka Castle. I'm going to put in the observatory castle because I thought the inside of it was garbage and not really worth checking out. It's just kind of a shitty museum. And you do get pretty high up and you have some pretty good views, but it was absolutely rammed with tourists when I went there. And it just wasn't really good for me. I didn't like it. So I would say skip the Osaka Castle for a different castle that I will talk about shortly. The next thing I did was I went to Universal Studios.
Surprise at my Universal Studios.
I went also to the Osaka Aquarium, or I think it's called Kaiyukan in Japanese. Very high quality and really good. That has whale sharks and giant manta rays and stuff. Well, I did it on a rainy day, and I think a lot of people have the same idea. So it becomes more crowded. And there's also a lot of school trips that go there, so it can get pretty crowded. In my experience, it was better to wait until maybe early afternoon to go. It seems like most of the school trips have cleared through already. My other tip is when you first get to the big tank in the middle, it's a giant crowd of people that are all crowding up to the glass trying to take pictures and stuff. But what you should do is just zoom right through there, because you're gonna wind around it for like 3 or 4 different floors going down a ramp. So you're gonna have lots of opportunity to get up close to the glass with less people. Then in terms of nightlife in Osaka, I went 2 areas I would recommend. One is called Shinsekai, which is near Tennoji Station, and it's got a tower that says Hitachi on it. So if you see that, head towards it and you'll find it. The thing to do there is just to go into an izakaya. There's lots of them there, and a lot of them are open 24/7. So go in there and you want to grab beers and this stuff called kushikatsu, which is just deep fried skewers of meats and vegetables and other things, and you dip them in some sauce, and it's really tasty, and you can have a good time there. And just walking around on the streets at night is really interesting. They've got lots of weird giant signs and stuff. And then the most famous part of Osaka, I think, is to go to this area called Dotonbori. This was really overrated for me, honestly. It's just mainly one big street, but there's other side streets and stuff as well in the area. It's loud and it's got lots of neon signs and stuff, and I think there are bars and clubs in the area, but I wasn't impressed by what I saw, frankly. Really touristy. It's not really authentic at all anymore. Definitely try takoyaki there, and maybe okonomiyaki if you're into that. I didn't think the okonomiyaki I had was very good. The takoyaki was first rate. Highly recommend that stuff. If you're looking for that kind of atmosphere, you should come to Korea, because Seoul's got multiple areas that easily outclass this one part of Osaka. So one thing I did that actually might have been my favorite thing in all of Osaka was actually leaving Osaka and going up north on the Hankyu Railway to this place called Mino Station, and there was a hike that you could do. It was a nice little short little hike, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours tops, to a really beautiful waterfall. And it was really nice to get out of the city and away from the crowds and kind of experience some nature that was still really easily accessible. When I went, it was a typhoon had gone through recently, so a lot of the trail was closed, and they said it was inaccessible, but they were lying, and it was actually easily accessible. You just had to stop listening to the signs and continue along. And there was a second trail I had to go up a mountain, and then along a mountain road, and then down, and it was no problem. I enjoyed Osaka. It was a really interesting place to visit, but I prefer Seoul. If you go to Korea and you're just chilling in a restaurant by yourself or a bar, you'll get approached by people that'll want to talk to you and you know, learn more about you, and they might become your friend for the night. In Japan, I think people really keep to themselves. So it was a little bit isolating. Go with a friend, I guess, if you're going to go to Osaka or Tokyo. I think Osaka was my least favorite part of this entire Japan trip. I don't want to really badmouth it because it was good and it was fun, but I just had more fun like basically everywhere else I went. Except for Universal. All right, so that's enough for now. That's all of Osaka. Look forward to next week when I will talk about Kyoto, the next part of my trip. So if you thought this video was interesting or good or whatever, or even if you didn't, you can like or dislike it. You should subscribe to our channel if you like me, you like Matt, and you like the other people on the channel. And you should send us a comment. Leave a comment down below with anything that you want to say to me or any suggestions for a future video. I've got loads of content for Japan. We have a video coming where I will talk just about Universal and how to do that the most efficient way possible in one day. But next week, you should look forward to part 2 of just my quick tips on Japan, where I will be talking about Kyoto. All right, see you later.